Here.
Here.
First item is the minutes of August the 27th. I think the last special call meeting, y'all all got a copy of them.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next is the minutes of September the 10th on the public hearing over the 2 road closures.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Alright, and then the next is the minutes of September the 10th meeting. Need a motion on that?
Motion. Second.
All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Alright, next, minutes of September the 24th meeting.
Motion.
Need a second.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Next item is the, Industrial Authority Program Support, $10,299.21.
We need to mention that TIF every time, or is that just automatic?
Right,
We wanna get it done.
actually, at the, their board meeting, they've, contacted them and they're not gonna be doing no more work, basically, till there's some for sure businesses that's gonna come in there.
So this is be the end of
This
it.
is supposed to be the end of it.
You kept track of it, Patricia.
We getting it back.
We get it back.
So, can I get a motion?
Motion.
Okay,
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And next is, Development Board Program Support.
Place it.
make a motion.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 12 Parkford Court.
They had deposits of $440, and they had, Jackson Energy of $116.81, Western Water $30.51, Jackson Energy $82.86, for a total of $230.18. They started with $1,216.34, they had a total of 440 deposits, 230.18 expended, and that left $1,426.16.
Make a motion. Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the next one, Mount Vernon Fire Department, that truck that was purchased last year, the new one, it didn't come with automatic chains, and they left the automatic chains on the fire truck that they give to Western. So they was just needing to, they got 2 quotes for have automatic chains put on that truck.
Western won't give it back to them?
So,
Must be value.
well, 2475 is the
Yeah.
low bid, so that was the 2 quotes that they got on it.
Where's
Well, one was close,
One in
one of
both
it
of
came
them?
in
Yeah,
pretty
both of
long.
them.
Yeah, this one here for 2475, if U-boats have to be replaced, they're gonna have to add $250 on it, but as long as the U-boats is correct, it's 2475.
Where them bids from?
One is from Southeast Apparatus, which is in Corbin, and the other one's is from Martin's Peterbilt in London. Martin's Peterbilt was $28.51.
Ain't nobody here in the county does nothing like that now.
Go big guy.
Yeah.
The motion.
Hello?
Yeah, to go with the.
Low bid.
Lowest bid.
This is the countywide truck, right?
Yeah, that's that countywide fire truck for Mount Vernon that y'all got last year.
Mike made a motion.
Yeah.
Who second?
I would.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The next is a Special Olympics donation, $250.
That's what we usually do every year.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Solid waste report.
Motion. Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, this next one is youth football league donation.
The Zach Napier down at the jail said he had a youth football team that had got drawn to go to Ohio to play at the Bengals NFL field. The total for the trip is $350, and they're all Marquette tournaments, and he was just wanting to know if we could give him a donation just for the kids.
I'm gonna make it.
Is that a countywide team?
Not for school, not for school.
Well, it's like a travel team too anymore.
Zach Napier works down at the jail.
We can't do that, we can't give them a donation.
I don't think it's his school, cause it's for the school, or it's with the school,
Okay.
set up, and then we haven't been doing individual travel teams.
Oh, this is a travel team,
Okay.
it's not through the county.
Can we table that, till we can find out more information, and have him bring something?
I think he said
More rolled out.
that he was registering this week.
Cause it's school, we can't do it, and then AU travel teams, cause there's so many different ones we don't.
Right, I understand that.
So, if they go, they go.
We got no choice.
Right.
Kids down, we ain't got no choice on it.
Well, we give to the Little League youth.
I know that, yeah, I know, but I'm talking about anything to do with these kids, I turn them down.
I do too.
Any kind of that, you know what I'm saying?
You can't.
I think there was somewhere in there.
Well, you know, I think it's a traveling, I mean,
If it's a truck,
so, you know.
if it's not county, you know, I understand that part, yes.
So what was y'all's recommendation on that, just? Cause
Yeah.
well, I mean, your notes, I mean, it was
That's all he said it was a youth football. They had applied to go to this, to be one of the 20 teams that got to play at the Bengals NFL field. And he said the cost was $350 and they had got drawn for it, and that was his words. I wrote
Table
down
it till we get more information.
Next is just a update on that Rockcastle County Senior Citizens property. They came down and, had signed the deed, had it recorded, and, we're in the process of getting a lease agreement drawn up to, present it to the Senior Citizens building. Basically, we just mirrored the lease agreement that the state had with them. And it'd be like a $1 a year lease agreement, just that there's some kind of value put with it, so, and it'd be basically business as they do business now.
I'll make a motion.
Yeah, I just more information to y'all,
Oh, okay.
just to let you know where we're at on that. The next item is 911 equipment. The software is expired in the CAD system. So I had Kim get a quote for upgrading it. The upgrade on the software is right at $8,000. And it will be, pushed on out to 2021. And then we have to get another version of it and new equipment, just because it's going on 5 years old. So to replace the equipment, is, exact quote on it, but. $11,804
Let's do
versus,
that in 2021.
well, that there buys all new equipment and gives you 5 more years. That other just bought you on to 2021 for $8,000. So,
We better off with five
11,000.
years.
right,
The equipment too.
then they will be, there's an additional $3,000 for the company to send their people down there and, install it and give them the training on it, so, but yeah, it'd be best to go ahead and pay the $11,000 and get a new server, CAD server put in out there that they asked for. And they'll have to come out of the general fund, cause I don't. So, can I get a motion on that? Say, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Okay, the transportation cabinet, William, you, back years ago when the new 150 went through, and we had to go around, or you all had to go around and select which segments you would take in as county roads versus not taking them in. When you turn off of 150 on the Highway 70, you go up through there just 500 feet, and there's a little blacktop road that turns off.
Back towards the bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we didn't take that in back then, so that Jeff Dick had sent an email, and he was asking me if we would revisit it and see if we would take it in, at this time, but I was just gonna present it to you all, but
Why would?
it
Don't go nowhere, don't.
no, it don't go to anything, I mean, you know.
Ain't no houses on it either, are there?
No, it used to, I guess, go into the back end of where the feed store used to be.
If, nobody takes it, what happens? It just goes to the, back to the
Well,
landowners?
that's usually what the state does with it, if the county don't take it in, it'll just kinda resolve
As
back.
long as there's just one owner there, I mean,
Right, I mean,
we could do it if there's 2 owners, then that'd cause a problem.
but he just wanted me to present that, so that was what I was gonna do, so, we'll just stay where we was at. And I'll contact him tomorrow and see, give him an update. Okay. Then this next item, the CSEP programs, doing a commo project. And the total cost of it is the $214,314. And we was just wanting to get that approved up to that amount, but they're gonna, to bill us in $30,000 increments till we get through that, because we have to pay for it up front. And, that way the CSEP program will be able to use the money that's in their fund to pay for it at $30,000, $32,000 at a time, till we get that project completed. So I was just needing to get an approval to spend up to that amount for that commo project.
Is that a pass-through now, we get that back?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's all 100%
Yeah,
reimbursable, but,
Second.
all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Next item is jailer's tire.
What that is, I was driving my personal vehicle when the inmate had escaped and pulled out of the courthouse here and hit the corner of the curb, and it put a hole in the sidewall of my car, they couldn't patch it. So we had to order a new one, and Town and Country put it on, so I was wanting to ask the fiscal court if they could pay for that tar replacement.
Only problem with that is, Nathan, if we do it for you, we'd have to do it for everybody else.
Okay.
That's the only issue I got with it, you know, not nothing against you personally,
I know that.
you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying there. You know, it's just, that's only the issue I got with that.
Okay, no problem.
What do you fellas think about that? Am I wrong, or you?
No, I mean, if we did that, yeah, I mean, I busted my car once on the record going around Freedom School Road, and, you know, I didn't figure that was county's fault. I mean, I hit a rock that was on the county road on the shoulder, but, you know, I mean, I hate it for you,
Yeah, I
but,
do too.
I mean, I can't see it.
It don't hurt, didn't hurt to ask.
Yeah.
If you'd been in your official vehicle, it'd been different, you know.
Right. Okay, thank you.
I would do that.
Is that the consensus of the group then? Next item is, removal of tree on Dorman Creek Road. We got two quotes, one quote is $26.50 and one quote is $1,400. And that's on, Brian Durham, we turned it over. And there's a fence that's in the way, that's the reason we couldn't cut it down ourselves, or we would have took care of it, the fence issue.
Fence, and then there's a garage on the other side that it has come down in sections.
Need license, bonding,
It-
take the garage down here.
Yeah, I'm very sure.
Wait, is that Hunt, what took you to get this house?
Right there, I've got it in gravel.
Is it big tree fell right there at your?
There's a piece of big piece of it falling down.
It's on the county right away.
Yeah.
So that Rex Powell gave a quote and Jack of All Trades gave a quote, so Jack of All Trades was the $1,400.
I'll make a motion.
Second. Got to be
All in
done.
favor say aye.
Hey,
Any opposed? Next one is Jock Road speed limit.
Yeah, we'll put a 35 speed limit sign on it. Got some people that are driving about 70 on it. I know that won't stop them, but
But if you got a deputy or somebody out there, you know, it might slow them down there.
right. We're gonna have that. I'll make a motion.
I second that.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the next item, we just needed to add one more item onto the surplus property list. The sheriff's department's got their enclosed trailer over there that they was wanting to add on to that list. That was purchased several years ago, through some grant money that we got. The grant money got through the county, but it was dispersed out to the emergency services. So I just to cover everything, we just make sure we got a paper trail showing where it could get approved for surplus. So, can we get a motion on that?
I'll make a motion to take.
Alright, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next one is Snowflake speed limit sign.
They want, you want one up through there, I just looked through there, the other day, they call you want one up there.
Yeah,
What you
pretty-
driving down?
No, What they want,
High.
what they want, what's the speed limit, 25 or?
Well, he said, asked about 30.
That sounds good to me, that.
I mean, it's a curvy hill
Yeah, I know
road, I
that.
mean, it's nothing that you can do.
I'll make a motion.
Alright,
I'll second.
all in favor say aye. Any opposed?
What speed limit?
30.
30. We ever got our other ones in yet?
Huh?
The other speed limit signs, we ever got them in?
They came in today.
Oh, that's great.
This morning, cause I'd met down there with Mike Ford, and I told him if we didn't get them, we need to find somewhere else to order them, and he called me, he said when he got back in there, they were sitting in there, so
Good, good.
okay. And, this next item, U secluded ridge. That's, Mike's district. That was a road when, we went and looked at it first, we just thought that it met the requirements, that there was 4 houses on it.
There's 5 houses.
5 houses on it, but when we, got to looking into it, it's a platted subdivision. So,
That's the way it was originally developed, but now, for all practical purposes, it's just an old winding gravel road with 5 houses on it. And,
Does the landowners own the
well,
road?
that's, let me tell, can I tell a whole story?
Yeah.
Like Hal said, and, him and Corey went and looked at it and decided it needed 5 tiles before we take it in. And, they agreed to come up with them. And then there was a question whether they could, buy the tiles and, pay the county, and then it's not a county road, so we had to drop that. And then they had to all agree to sign, and we got to checking that out through the county attorney's office, and, this developer, Gibbs, that developed it, he retained ownership of the road, and he had since passed away. So the word then was to get his heir or whatever, and, he had one son for, a hire, so we got him, and they got him to sign, a day or two ago. And the county attorney's office had drawn up the papers on it, for all practical purposes, he's deeded the road to the county, the developer's heir. But the, judge found some, attorney general rulings or.
Attorney general rulings that we're not, allowed to spend basically taxpayer dollars on subdivision road. That,
It gets a little bit convoluted when you look into it. The primary attorney general's opinion that we looked at basically states that after 2004, to take in a subdivision road, or any private road actually, into the county road system, it has to meet the criteria set forth in KRS 178.010, paragraph 3, which states that basically we have to meet the minimum construction standards that we require by the court. Now, I think the problem we run into there is I'm not entirely sure we actually have any minimum construction requirements actually on the books. We had actual ordinance that was in place for a few years that actually stated what had to be done by a subdivision or a subdivision developer to bring those roads into the county system, but I think that was set aside at some point while Billy was county attorney. So from looking at it, I'm not entirely sure we have a set of standards that we actually go by that says whether it meets that criteria or not.
If he was down there and
They
drove
used to,
over,
they
you
had to be
wouldn't,
blacktop, didn't you, Joe? You
you
remember?
wouldn't even dream that
They
this
used to
would
have
be
to go up on the Rainbow Ridge, or whatever it's called.
because there's 5 houses in there.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not disagreeing with you, Mike. I just think that no matter what we do with this road, that's a whole separate issue. The judge and I talked about, we need to get something in place so we don't have to worry about these things in the future. Just get new ordinances written up to actually what has to happen, how these roads are built, so that way we don't have people who develop subdivisions doing the bare minimum on a road, trying to get it into the county road system later, so the taxpayers have to foot the bill for them doing a terrible job building their own road.
If all possible, I'd like to see us get this in the end, because they had nothing to do with, the developer and all that. And, normally what we do.
Does the
is have-
developer have any more lots for sale in there?
No, they've all been bought.
They're sold out.
Yeah, they're sold
Oh.
out, yeah. And like I say, it just, you go down there and drive it, it's just like an old county road.
Right.
There's 5 houses, sitting, some of them back a lane and some next to
and I understand, but if it wasn't if it wasn't on plat, then it would just be an old county road.
Yeah.
But it's platted.
But
and-
platted
and
It was platted at one time, but it
Yeah.
was never developed, so,
No.
correct?
But the properties were sold off of it.
Each lot was sold individually
And
out of it.
houses is built on it, whether, it was a platted subdivision that's been plotted and lots has been sold and houses has been built.
Well, we took, I know like different places, we have took them in before, like across from my old gun store. That, James Noel built that subdivision and them and put double wides and whatever. And we took them over, so and that was platted out and sold out, so I'm kinda like Jeremy.
That was different though, they met the requirements, used to, it had to be blacktop.
Had to be
They
gravel.
had to blacktop it. The developer, first
Yeah.
blacktop.
There was a ordinance or an agreement in place that stated that a platted subdivision had to be blacktop with so much dense grade, so much base coat, and so much top coat.
And right away, and all that stuff.
And a 40-foot
Yeah.
easement.
But that ordinance was rescinded though,
That's
because
right.
Yeah.
the stipulations on it was more than what they built in the interstate
Yeah, it
with.
was too strict.
Yeah, I mean, it was, you know, you had to have 4 inches of bottom coat, 2 inches of top coat finish.
And if you don't have certain guidelines on it, and then the road falls in 2 years later, and then you're out there, building a new road.
I agree.
So, right now, we have no guidelines.
He's right, and we do need
And,
guidelines.
And what I was telling the judge is that I can just draft up something general for us to kinda have a baseline to go by, so we can try to get something done pretty quick, just so we don't have to run into this issue again and again and again.
Right.
Would we be all right, Jeremy, by taking this road in and then doing that in the next,
Well, it's
before
like I
the
said-
next court meeting?
Well, it's like I said, Mike, I don't think we have any standards right now to go by.
Well,
my
we
thing
have
is,
4
you
houses
got
and
5 houses are paying taxes
yeah.
and live on, and they need their road upkeep too, you
Just
know.
like anybody else.
We should, you know, maybe we should get,
I-
before they build a
Of course, y'all
subdivision.
talking about
we
two
put a-
separate different things. This is a platted subdivision. This ain't a private road that 4 or 5 people lives on. That just throws us in a little different of a category here.
No, it ain't a private road because the legal, guardian owner of it has signed it over to the county.
Well, I mean.
Has he not, Jeremy?
It's not been filed, I mean, it was done the same way we do every other road, because we always get it signed before it's presented to the court. The court doesn't have to accept it, I mean, it's up to the court to do that.
Well, in the future, if we had a little planning and zoning, then you could get people to put up a bond and say, hey, I'm gonna finish this
Well-
road out, but when we
Well-
start from 45 years ago, you know.
Well, and I don't wanna get too
30.
far, I don't wanna get too far down the rabbit hole.
Well, I'm
There
just
are,
saying,
there are
you know.
certain things certain counties have, like subdivision districts, where basically any subdivision within a certain district is upkept by this foundation, which is really just a kind of a special tax district more than anything. We don't have that here in the county, we've never had anything like that here. So really the only thing we ever specifically had was just the guidelines for the subdivisions from March 1993.
You know, we've done Bullock, I'm just saying in the past too, we've done Bullock subdivision,
Oh, I
we've
do
done,
not
you
disagree
know.
with that at all.
Right. And things, so I mean, if we want to start, let's start now and put up in the, you know, something in the future.
Well, like I said, I was planning on
You
drafting
gonna
something
plat
up.
you out a subdivision, put up a bond and you finish it, or, you know, how long ago
Absolutely,
was this?
it needs to
this
be
done?
put in place, we can't do nothing about the past.
But your guys are
this-
saying that, y'all mentioned Roundstone, let me get this straight. You guys have mentioned Roundstone. Steve Ponder was the first man to put the blacktop on that subdivision first, all correct, right? Now, as long as the blacktop was put on by the builder, we can maintain it then, is that right? But now, if it would've been gravel, we couldn't do it.
Right.
Is that what you're saying?
We can't maintain it unless it's put in, Payette County Road.
No, I mean, you can't maintain it, I mean, those were requirements that were in place before, that it couldn't be brought to the county road system after it was built, okay?
Okay.
So, that's no longer in place is what we're saying, so 4 or 5 years ago, whenever it was, that ordinance was struck down by vote of the court to just repeal it, actually. So there are no guidelines now, is all I'm saying.
And nothing was put back into place of it.
These people on Secluded Ridge, plus the developers, probably had no idea that the county had any such ordinance.
Oh, I'm sure these people had nothing to do with it, obviously.
Well,
Well,
that's
I mean,
for that
reason,
reason,
they
they
shouldn't be
place that we
punished.
go through.
They shouldn't be
But them
punished
people
for
that live on that
things
road
not
today
allowed.
pay taxes every day. I mean, in 5 houses, if they're worth $100,000 apiece, it's $500,000 worth of property, we get taxes
I
on.
make a motion that we do it the same way we have done it for the last 5 years. That, as long as it's got 4 houses, it's a gravel road, if the judge wants them to buy tiles, then that's fine. And, we accept it in, of course, 2 magistrates and the road foreman, and of course you, Coy done looked at it. But I make a motion, we accept it in the way we've been doing the whole county road, because that's all it is.
They have to
It
put
might have
tiles
been
in
intended to be a
themselves.
subdivision.
They have to
And
put
then we
tiles in
maintain them
themselves.
afterwards.
No, they're gonna buy the tiles and the county gonna put them in.
I thought they had to put the tiles in themselves.
No. On the driveway, the owner buys the tiles
Well,
and
I
the
know
county
that,
puts them
I
in.
know that on the driveway, but I thought it was on the county road.
He's talking about outside, not across the main road.
This is, this is a special
I'm gonna
deal.
vote against that.
This is what it takes to kind of have to get the road out.
Yeah, the motion.
I know what you're saying, Mike.
And
How long ago was that subdivision started, do y'all know?
that's-
been there over 15 years.
Okay.
Well, I've got one right now. The reason I say that, Mike, I got one right now, and I was told that we got to put the tile in,
Went back
make
to
a county road.
the land,
I've got an issue right now like that.
each landowner,
I know he has to buy it, but I've told he has to put it in it.
They pulled houses on top of that mountain, high,
There's five.
on top of the hill.
What's that?
I ain't never been through it.
Yeah, that one on the left, and then
The one on the bottom, the
yeah,
photo house.
there's two more on the left. Diane, there's one of them.
Well, now her house is not on it.
I don't know if you can.
Bobby's.
I agree.
Diane Marker.
There's,
That
they're
would be
living
a-
on it. I agree with that.
Sure.
But in the future,
if that, the landowner on the road went back and deeded that road, each tract to the adjoining landowner, can they deed it to the county then?
Well, there's a different statute for that though. So 178-405 states that when any private road, street, or highway in an unincorporated area of the county has been used for the general public openly, continuously, notoriously, for a period of at least 15 years, it shall be implied that such road, street, or highway may be dedicated to public use, provided that 55% of the property owners abutting the private road, street, or highway sign a petition. Okay? So that's just, I mean, that's the direct language of the statute.
Well, they'd be willing to sign that.
A petition, but the landowner, the guy who owned the road, done deeded over.
Well, it
to
says,
the county,
it says
right?
abutting the private road. So I would think that would still include them because they run beside the private road, so I think that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, so they could always petition it, but that's a whole separate issue we're talking about now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I made a motion that we do it the way we have been doing it for the last 5 years.
To take it over,
Yeah.
I'll second that motion.
Did you read all that, man?
Now, do it.
Shane.
I don't know enough about it either. I mean, I'm like Shannon, they're paying taxes.
Like 5 people live
Five
on it, that
people
was
live
their
on it.
rule.
It's the wrong rule that you're referencing. You're
It
not
might be the wrong
referencing, it's
rule,
a
but
platted
what's the rule that
subdivision.
we got in place?
A platted subdivision.
We don't have no rules in place except for.
On a platted
houses and-
subdivision, we don't have no rule.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
right out the window.
Y'all vote whatever how you want.
But if you don't have it, it's like, what the attorney general.
Well, we read this there the other day
The
too.
rules is how it's platted.
Right. It is a platted subdivision. It puts it in a different category than what he's referencing in. It ain't like going out here and taking a road in that's got 4 houses on it. If that was the whole case, it would be.
How did that road that has 4 houses on it get started 40 years ago?
Yeah, it don't,
Al,
it don't matter how it started, what it
somebody
is now.
sold each piece of that off. They didn't plat it off, but they sold each piece of that off to build houses on, you know,
And
at one time.
It's a platted subdivision, so that's all.
That's been given over to the county though. See, and that's the thing in too. Is the road been
Hey,
given
y'all,
over?
listen,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, every developer out there would run out and start a subdivision, then come and give the property to the county and the county take it in.
Put some rules in place where you
Yeah,
can't
that's
start
what
it.
we need to do.
That's what we're doing.
But you
That's
can't
what we're
penalize the
doing.
people now that
Ain't
live
nobody
on it.
getting penalized.
Yes,
Right?
they are. Who is going to upkeep that road now that the landowners, he's deceased and gone, the one that started, and they done give it to the county? Why did the county take it?
County ain't took it yet.
It ain't been recorded.
But he's going to.
The Gibbs guy, the heir to the original owner, signed it over, signed
I
papers to
think
give
we
it
got
to the county.
Yeah, residents there that live, and that's just.
Shane, aye or nay?
If it's platted, I'm gonna go no. I can't do it if it's against the law, against law.
I say yes.
Against the rules.
Yes.
I'm gonna go hey. Till we learn more about this, figure this out. I don't wanna be down there with Nathan.
Motion failed.
If it's all right with the court, I'd like to bring in a possible new ordinance next month for us to review.
Absolutely, that's
Right.
what
I agree with that too.
That'd be fine with
Yeah,
that.
we just gotta have some guidelines set in place that if somebody going to the Attorney General office on this, wanting a ruling, then we come back, with a black eye.
I'm sorry, y'all, I done my best.
Guys, I ain't got nothing against y'all personally, but they just.
They know, I mean, they know you can lose the hard, I mean, we're just doing what we think's right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean,
What's the
I-
difference
I
right there?
agree.
If they was 5 landowners out through there had farms and decided to sell off of it, we got 5 landowners up there, they ain't gonna sell nothing off that hill. So what's the difference?
Well, sir, it's just, it's recorded as a platted subdivision, is what the difference is. If they hadn't went down there and recorded it as a platted subdivision, would've made a different thing. They would've had no problem in the world of doing it.
Well, what if they stop paying their damn taxes, then what happens?
Well, I mean, that's,
You know, that ain't right for this lady right here.
well, you know, I just wanna do what's right on our end. I'm not interested in, getting in trouble and going to jail over anything.
Well, ain't nobody wants to go to jail.
Well, so, you know, just with reading through too many attorney general rulings over subdivisions, and it's illegal to spend taxpayer dollars on a subdivision road. It is, and that's illegal.
She's gonna accept it.
Yeah, that's right, and you know, they was good for it.
Let's go, there'll be another election.
No.
I'm sorry, I just, you just gotta.
Well, they ain't no, I mean, we just gotta do what's right,
Well, see what you can do to change it.
but
Okay,
that's
how
what
about
he's.
it?
What he's gonna do.
Hey,
Let's see if we can't
he's gonna
change it to
draw
make
it
it
up.
better for people who do pay taxes, okay?
There's no ordinance.
They should be
Say
fined
nothing
for
in
what
that
they
reading,
did.
nothing about
Jack
it.
Lake Development,
If
30
it's a
years
platted
Well,
subdivision.
That's right. But I mean, it ain't right for the taxpayers to go out there and pay
To help them people out
Well,
that
it
pay
ain't
the
got
taxes.
nothing to do with
The
that.
guy that's, he's gone.
That
We had
taxpayer
no
thing,
ordinance in
yeah.
place to start with when we should've put it in there.
Man, it's all right, we'll move on.
Okay.
The snow plow that we had talked about at the special call meeting the other day, that they went and looked at and said that, it was, Harry Potter's got it, he said he'd take $2,500 for it. I had called him just to confirm all that, but it looked like he just called me a few minutes ago, but I didn't take the call, so.
what are
It
you
was
talking about now?
$2,500 for a snow plow, practically a brand new one. If y'all wanted to purchase that, or,
Just the one in pickup truck?
yeah, it's a pickup.
What item number is that?
Well,
I looked it all,
Did
We
we discuss
discussed
that?
business, not on that?
Yeah.
yeah, this is a regular call
We
meeting.
won't jail.
I don't know. It's a regular call meeting, so we can discuss business other than what's on the agenda, so,
Okay.
but I mean, that's fine if you,
Yeah,
I
that's
just
good.
made a note here. to
Just making a
remember.
joke.
Yeah,
Second.
all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I guess, sorry.
Hi guys, my name is Heaven Pearson. I came to visit you guys over the summer. I know to ask for a donation because I was attending nationals in Anaheim, California. I'm here today just to say thank you guys so much for that donation. I was able to do so many things in California that just are so beneficial as a high school senior, and I just want you guys to know that that contribution was super amazing, and I hope that FCCLA continues to grow because of you guys. FCCLA is very thankful, and I love being a part of Rockcastle FCCLA, not just Kentucky FCCLA or National FCCLA, it's Rockcastle FCCLA. We're super huge, and we love our county so much, and we love to help our county. And we love when our county helps us. And so I brought a little token of my appreciation, some little snacks and things for you guys. I'll just leave it over here for after your meeting. I just really wanted you guys to know how thankful that I am for that contribution to.
I want you to know we're very proud of you too, young lady. Very, very proud of you.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. you, thank you, Art.
Like,
I come bearing nothing, but, thanks tonight. The main reason I'm here, the river access to the 25 bridge looks fantastic. I haven't had a chance to drive down yet. I was in my car the other day, but probably could have drove down in the car. It looks great. And I want to thank you all for that. It seems like roads is a tough thing to deal with, but
Judge
I appreciate y'all
got a permit
doing.
from the state, so we could do that legally.
Say it again.
Judge got a permit from the state, so we could do that.
And I'm sure it was a lot of hard work, and I appreciate, you know, obviously it didn't get done in the summertime when it's mostly used, but it got done, and that's great. And hopefully we can maintain it as well with that permit in the future, because that is a very pivotal spot for fishermen alike, as much as kayakers and recreational boaters as well. So thank you all for doing it. It looks amazing. I appreciate you jumping through the hoops and the whole court system, everybody doing that. The Moonshiners Ball going on this weekend at Rockcastle Riverside. Hope y'all get a chance to drive by. If y'all want to go, stop in, please let me know. I'll contact John, and I'm sure he can get you all in to kind of observe what's going on down there. There's going to be upwards, probably anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 people down there this week, starting on Thursday, all the way through Sunday. Music, festivities, and whatnot. Pretty big music event. Huge for tourism in Rockcastle County. Go down and check it out. Drive by. That's a lot of income coming in this area, and money being spent here as well. Again, that's all I have, really. I'll be back next month with some more info on the side-by-side stuff. I just haven't had a chance to get that stuff together. I hope you all are kind of maybe still having that discussion, hopefully. Next year, next season, I'm sure it'll be a bigger season for these off-road vehicles and whatnot as well. It grows every year, but I'll come back in with some more stats and numbers on that for y'all. So, a little education and stuff. But thank you all. Appreciate it. Road looks great.
Thanks, Larry.
Y'all have a good evening.
Anybody else have anything to express the court?
Oh, have you already reviewed the?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Well, yes, very quickly, if I have a few minutes. I have the agenda for the meeting Friday. Is it appropriate for me to present that to you?
yeah. Did they get a copy of it in the packet?
No, I didn't know.
okay.
I'm just all tore up. Mine's been on printer ain't worked today, but.
Well, this is the revised one. So, is that something that you can review with them and?
Yeah, that's fine. I thought it was in the packet. I thought I had them all in there.
Give me a copy.
But this is the special call meeting that's gonna be
Go
on Friday.
downstairs, I'll
Put
give
it in
you a
the
copy.
We put something in place this evening.
Well, yes, that's always one of our goals. But Regina Stivers, do all of you know Regina? She's a Rockcastle resident.
I'll give you one downstairs.
Shannon, do you know about the meeting Friday, special call meeting at Hall of Fame?
No, I don't.
3 o'clock,
It may
any chance you
put
can
him on
have?
the time.
I'll be there.
Oh, wonderful,
5
Shannon, Shannon, how about you? You think you can come? 3 o'clock.
This special call meeting, the fiscal court?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's gonna be a special call
Yeah, I
meeting.
ain't missed one yet.
Just because there's probably gonna be more than quorum there, so
When is it?
it's gonna be Friday.
It's Friday.
And they sent a agenda, so it
I've got
looks,
one downstairs.
yeah, yeah. you
Let me
should-
give you this
I
one.
may leave, I don't
Oh,
know.
okay.
See, I'll try. I'll try.
Okay, we really appreciate it.
3 o'clock Friday.
3 o'clock Friday, right. You know, we've all talked to you individually, you know, some of them. We're bringing in Regina, we've asked her to come, Regina Stivers, she's a Rockcastle girl. She's the Deputy Secretary for State Tourism. And we've asked her to come and we're gonna give her a tour of the museum, although she's familiar with it, but she hasn't seen it in a few years. And then we're gonna tell her some of the things that are going on in the area. Then Neil and Avery will sit down with her and, you know, tell her about our financial situation there. and some of the things that we're trying to do. And then Regina, you will come at 3 o'clock, and she will respond to what we have told her. She's gonna give us some suggestions, of what we should be doing, and how we can go about getting grants, etc. So I would really like for all of you to attend to hear what she has to say. So that would be great. You know, we have a lot of things happening down in that area, so we need to all be involved and know what's going on. So that would be terrific. Other than that, Hal, you got a permit from the State Transportation Department to maintain an area, Sally J down to Horseshoe Bend. And, you know, it's been cleaned up fairly well. James Renner and his work release crew came through and cleaned up that ditch, and now we can mow it and picked up a lot of the debris. Have you noticed a big difference?
Yeah.
It looks much better. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
So, there's a couple of people that are saying they'd like to see more work done on that. Hal, do you think we could get together and talk about that, or do you want me to just go ahead and?
Yeah, we'll get out.
Okay.
You get too clean, they put graffiti on them rocks.
Graffiti would look great.
Well, I still did that time, didn't I?
Artistic, but, no, there's some, trees and stuff still overhanging, but that's not something that I think we can do locally. We probably would need to bring in a tree trimming service. And so, Hal and I will get together and we'll see what else we think needs to be done and present that to you later. Does that sound okay? I'm working on the St. Clair property. I'm real excited about that. I think you've noticed some work being done there. The building that is there is gonna be remodeled and made into the chamber office. Justin Pruitt's gonna be doing the remodeling, and I think he'll be starting, probably within the next month. So I'm very excited about that. We're doing a history garden in the lot in front of it, and, we did get a grant, the development board got a grant from ARC to do signage, so we're going ahead with that. So Parsons Building, I think I mentioned to you, that's something I've been working with Ed Winter, for the past year and a half, and before that, we tried to get a brownfield grant, that didn't work out. The goal was to tear the building down. Well, apparently, Mr. Winter has all his pricing in line, and have you heard anything, Jeremy, about that project? I guess Bobby is working on it.
I think they're almost ready with it, from what Ron was saying today, yeah.
Well, they wanted to get started last week, and we had to delay them because of the festival. So you should be seeing them here within the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think they've finished out the paperwork maybe today.
Oh, wonderful.
I think so.
So, anyway, that building will be coming down, and, you know, that's the one that has the benzene problem and the mold problem, it cannot be saved. Do you have any questions? No? Okay, I'll let you carry on. Thank you very much, and I'll see you Friday.
Any questions, I'll try to answer them.
No.
Anybody have any questions for the sheriff?
Fill in.
We're very honored to have Sam here tonight. He's a much better side of the chair. That's what most people say.
Some people don't like it.
Well, Joe, I guess we'll turn it over to you.
We got that.
This is gonna be short and quick. This is Martin's computer evidently crashed Monday morning, and, she can't print off a check register.
Hey, guys.
I printed off.
See y'all, June.
Thank you. See y'all.
Thank you.
I have the bank statements, but I can't do a reconciliation because I don't know which checks I have to clear the bank, so we're at a standstill or a black hole, I don't know what you call it. So, but what we've had to do since the, 1st of October, the general fund, funds were insufficient to meet our liabilities or our bills that were sent out. And so on 2 occasions, on one occasion we transferred, called it emergency transfer, because we didn't ask you all what we did, it's general fund money. But we took $75,000 from occupational tax and put it in the general fund. And then that wasn't sufficient enough, so there's another $25,000 transfer, because the general fund needed some money in it, and also 911. So, we need to back in a transfer from general fund to 911 for $5,000. The rest of it just shuffles general fund money from one bank account to another, so we've always told you all upfront what we have to do, but I guess we need a motion to continue the way we've always done it, to approve I'm gonna call it an emergency transfer from occupational tax, $100,000 from the occupational tax to the general fund, and then a $5,000 transfer from the general fund to 911.
All in favor, say aye. Any opposed?
So, continuing in that, if you look at, the bills, that I do know that I'm pretty sure as the day closed, we had about $10,000 in the general fund. We've got, what, 5,000 occupational tax? And we've got, we'll have to do payroll, I don't know what we got in the detention center. But we've fronted, I'm gonna say, the road fund, some 200 this fiscal year, right, when I talk about the two, that we did in, flex money in, the previous fiscal year. So, what we know is that the road fund's got $900,000 in it. And so we're gonna need to transfer money back out of the road fund into the general fund in order to meet the liabilities that we've incurred in the month of September. There's $39,000 in the general fund, but there's $46,000 looks like in the jail fund. Additional money in 911. Do you have any other LGA?
No, we don't have money to this, and we haven't got the quarter money yet.
It won't come in until later.
Can't we, I'm sure we'll get that before Friday.
Hopefully.
Is that something that we could address on Friday? Even though we'll be off site, but maybe
No, yeah, they don't have we need to get approval for what we're operating.
Right.
Before we move forward, before she can send out any bills, we've got to have sufficient.
So how much time is that? Oh, okay.
But what we need is we already got that. So just to let y'all know, we're gonna need to transfer some money back from the road fund into the general fund. But hopefully our computer will be up and we can talk about that on Friday.
And then claims. Anybody see anything? I printed them from my phone on the back side, y'all.
We haven't been looking at it awful, so.
It's hard to read.
It's hard to read. That's the best I had.
Yeah, I seen that one page, it looks kind of wild too.
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion to adjourn?
I got sidetracked, we turned that off.
Oh, yeah. My chair's missing.
Oh.
The old grocery store.
That ain't up and running tomorrow.
Okay.
I have no idea.
How's Broadhead?
Right.
You know what?
Did you
I
really
mean,
see
you work
what?
for Rob. Yeah, I'm going to look it up.
That's me,
Yeah, I need to get people
No,
on the scene on Thursday. You can do it right there. Oh, no, they wouldn't, yeah, I mean, that's your, I need to get people on the call. I'll go back to people, so everything I'll call you. Okay, I got one. Rock out.
I wasn't even asked if they're like, you know, can we
How's it working?